Today I've been sitting around trying my best to think of redstone ideas, and a ridiculous one popped into my head. Now originally I thought it's probably impossible, but the more I think about it, I actually think we might be able to pull it off. So today we're going to try our best to build a door with a fishbowl on the inside of it. Now I have done something similar in the past where I built a full aquarium on the inside of a door, but this actually presents a lot more challenges because this is going to be a 1x1x1 fishbowl on the inside of a 3x3x3 door. So there's a lot of things that we need to do for this one. So I've laid out all of the pistons and everything that we need to power to make this thing work in theory. Now the only interesting problem that we've run into is that dispensers need to be in the walls because of course we need to create some water that is going to sit in this central block right here. And the only way that we can do that is have the dispensers here, which means that we can not retract blocks that are there because of course the dispensers are in the way. So we're going to have to do some interesting block shifting methods to move those around. Of course we've also got all the double extenders and everything down underneath here. Everything is very close together, so it's going to be interesting to see how we're actually going to wire this, because look, there's a dispenser there. How on earth am I going to power that without powering everything else? I've actually made life a little bit more complicated now because we've flipped around the 3x3 piston door. So on this side, this is what I was originally going to go with, double piston extender on the bottom, piston over here, all good. We're actually going to have the double piston extender up at the top there. That's going to be doing all of the logic. So we still have to somehow power this dispenser that's now going to be in this group of pistons. Oh dear. Why can't I just do something easy for once? Regardless, we have got the first section of our door in place. This is the 3x3 piston door, and as you can see, it is absolutely tiny and doesn't seem to be interacting too much with any of the other blocks apart from this one, which hopefully shouldn't be an issue, and if it is, I'm sure we can do something. But man, I love this piston door. It's beautiful. I now have both sides in place, but as you can see, it's causing a bit of a mess. I've had to change up some of the redstone wiring a tiny bit, and it doesn't seem to be working so smoothly, to be quite frankly honest, as you can probably tell. By the way, at this point, we're already 2 hours in, so I feel like this is going to be a long day. Good news though, I have managed to get both of our 3x3 piston doors now functioning. So both sides of this door are now done with the use of redstone blocks and things like that. So you can see that we have got both sides in place, and then if we flick the lever again, you can see that all of those retract. The only thing that we don't have is we don't have any of the blocks on the inside. You can see that this is totally hollow. But I am in the process of working on that as well. So the way that we're going to have to shift these blocks around to get around these dispensers right here is we're going to have some double piston extenders, and I've managed to squeeze in a double piston extender just in between these two circuits. You can see all of this yellow stuff here. That is actually a fully functioning double piston extender. You can see it drops down, and then it retracts out the way, and that is going to push the blocks that are here. So let's imagine that they're all like this. When we hit this button, you'll see that it pushes our central block down, it pushes the other glass block down here, and then this sticky piston here is going to retract this block and put it here. So that will open up all of the inside section of the door. So we've got to do that on both sides. And of course we have to work out how we're going to power the dispenser, or how and when we're going to power the dispenser to get an infinite water source in the center. Because I haven't really thought that far ahead yet. Haven't even thought how we're going to get the fish in just yet. I mean, I suppose that dispenser up there, but it looks pretty unpowerable to me. I'm going to ignore that problem for now because I've just placed in all of the inputs for all of the different things that need to happen on this one side. I'll do the same thing, mirror it on the other side. Now we have to work out the timings. So I guess double extension, and then move out the way. Oh god, it's hurt my head already. And I've just realised that we need to add in a circuit that removes the water after the door is open, because otherwise the entire thing's going to flood. Let's see. I actually think that looked pretty... So did you hear the double click? That's the water being dispensed and then removed. So that should have created our infinite water source. Then you saw these blocks popped up as well. So that is our fish tank all created. And this is the solution that I've had to come up with to be able to clear out the water. Because we need to have our double piston extender all the way down here, as that's the only way that we can possibly power it. We're at the 3.5 hour mark now. And I'm just about to do my first test of the full system. So that is the closing, and that is the opening. Nice! Ladies and gentlemen, That is a big deal. So that's where the water goes, and then everything closes up. We've got ourselves a little fish pond right there. And then we flick the lever again. God, that's pretty good. It's huge. It's an awful looking circuit, but that is pretty good. Now I've got to try my best to build the same thing on the opposite side, which could be challenging because this side of the circuitry is actually a little bit different. That's something that I hadn't really thought of. Oh, I can already see some problems too. Thankfully, with a handful of modifications, I managed to get round those. And this is how we're looking right now. So if I flick this lever, that should have created water. And then if we flick this lever again, you can see that everything moves out the way. Now, I wonder. I mean, this is a bit of a bold maneuver. But have we got the timings actually correct with these water things to allow them to work? Yes, we have. And there is our water in the middle there. So there is our little goldfish bowl. And then if we flick the lever again, I could not be happier. That has worked like a charm. How good is that? That's fantastic. That's absolutely amazing. Oh, awesome. I just dropped the fish in for the first time and I love this thing so much. What a silly redstone contraption I've created here. It even pops out the item. I mean, look at this. Would you ever get bored of this? Anyway, there's one more thing that I need to do with this redstone contraption, and that is connect up the piston door mechanics up to the little central section mechanics that I've created. Now, hopefully, this should be, I guess, relatively-ish simple. I mean, I imagine it shouldn't be too complicated. We need to make sure that our door closes before we get all the water mechanics happening, because otherwise it will flood everywhere. But then we need it to open after all of the water mechanic removal systems are done, because otherwise, once again, we'll get water flooding everywhere. And I haven't made a backup yet, and I don't really fancy, flooding everything. I think this should do it. So that, oh no. I can see a potential problem afoot. No, what? Yeah, of course. It's not the end of the world. It's times like those that make you kind of reevaluate yourself a little bit. I was terrified then. So here goes first test without any form of water in place. That seemed okay. Okay, so the water's now gone. So there's no risk of flooding. Okay, this is where things get interesting, because this is now when we put water in here. Now, I have not made a single backup during this entire video. That's probably silly of me at this point in time, although I don't really see how we could cause too much damage. But let's give it a whirl. Oh. Yes! That is so much better than I thought it was going to be. Ladies and gentlemen, there is our tiny little fish bowl right there. Oh my word, this is hilarious. This might just be one of my favourite piston doors. And then when we flick this lever, unfortunately the fish does meet a bit of a grim end. But it does all function correctly. I could actually use this thing all day. This is actually my favourite piston door I've ever created. I absolutely love this thing. I think it's hilarious. So that went from being a really, really stupid idea to actually turning into something really quite hilarious. And I'm quite proud of what I've managed to pull off. But at the end of today's episode, I want to issue you guys a bit of a challenge. Obviously, it being 3x3 is cool. I'm just curious. Do you think you could make one that's bigger? Maybe, for example, something a little bit like a 4x4 vault door, where the inside of the 4x4 vault door is actually a bigger fish tank. I would be very interested to see some of you guys take that on, because I'm sure some of you wizards out there might actually be able to pull it off. Anyway, I really do hope that you enjoyed today's Redstone video. If you did, please sure to that like button. If you really loved it, then make sure to subscribe. But thanks for watching, guys. This has been Mumbo, and I'm out. I'll see you later.